it's November, and there is no mistake about it that it is the month of WOOD, and you're here for the what are you primping?
Pimping?
Well, you pimping.
Yeah, I am pimping. I'm pimping a bunch of shows. What I'm doing. Hi everybody, I'm Frankie Whitten. This is ReW. This is the ReW WhO show.
Yes,
hey.
It is November 2nd. And it's a big day today.
Is it?
Well, kind of. Today is the Traffic Director's Day. Do you ever...
Those guys make traffic worse.
Today is Traffic Director's Day. That's
Those
good.
guys make traffic worse just to justify their job and take our money.
So if you ever listen to what the quote is for them, though, spare a thought for the hectic and busy lives of traffic directors everywhere on this day, November 2nd. Being responsible for keeping our streets and traffic systems in tip-top condition. Do you believe that?
Have you ever been? Ken's stuck in a cab. That's how good those guys are.
Yeah, Ken's stuck in a cab. And he's on at 9:15.
9:15. Then he might make it.
4:15. It's November 2nd, and it's National Deviled Eggs Day. That's why I made this spectacular. Look, doesn't that look like eggs? And it's eggs and a little bit of devil mixed together. No, that's for when people share their skeletons with us today. You want an egg?
What the hell is that?
They look like eggs, don't they? It's
they look
pretty
like
cool.
glass paper.
It's not. It's deviled eggs in candy style. So it's Roger Moore had his prostate removed on this day. James Bond, he did. He had his enlarged prostate removed on November 2nd. This is the anniversary of that activity.
But he was actually the saint.
He was the saint. And yet, wasn't yesterday All Saints Day?
Saints Day?
What the hell is All Saints Day? Because, like, I just don't get it.
It's the Catholic version of Simon. The Devil's Night and Halloween with the ghosts and everything.
So is that why today's Deviled Egg Day? National Deviled Egg Day?
Or in Mexico, La Dia de los Muertos.
So it continues. This whole trick or treat thing is just not stopping. Today was the day that Rudolph...
Yeah, look at Carol. He's wearing a costume still.
Rudolph Giuliani, remember him? He was elected the 107th mayor of New York City on this day, November 2nd. Do you believe that?
Infamy.
And it's the same day also that Christy Todd Whitman was the first woman governor of New Jersey on November 2nd.
At the same Christy Todd Whitman that said there was nothing bad with the air after 9/11.
And I have longer stories about that. You remember Sharon, my drummer? We love you, Sharon. She moved to Chicago because of that, because she works for the EPA and knew too much of what was going on. And Christy Todd Whitman was the boss of that.
And she was a waste. Next.
All right, next. This is really terrible news for me. This is disturbing even for me. Jermaine Jackson on November 2nd released Word to the Bad, which was an anti-Michael Jackson song. Can you believe that? And look what Jermaine is doing now.
Living off his brother.
Yeah, he made... Do you remember that song, Word to the Bad?
Sounds like all the other rap songs.
Jermaine, shame on you, Jermaine Jackson.
The hell with him.
All right, what else happened on this crazy day? I only said this because of the World Series. Meet Me in St. Louis opened at the Gershwin Theater in New York City on this day, November 2nd. Do you know who won the World Series?
What? This year?
Yeah.
St. Louis.
Exactly, that's right.
St. Louis. But I want to give it, speaking of St. Louis, I want to give a shout out to the St. Louis Rams. My good buddy Billy Devaney is the general manager over there. And they finally won a game this weekend.
Yay!
So Billy's got a job for another week.
There you go. Today is the day in history, November the 2nd, that it was the first Mrs. America pageant. Is that still going on?
Mrs.?
Was it the first?
Yeah, Mrs. America. That's because they were getting pregnant too quick.
Mrs. America. Oh, speaking of getting pregnant.
Which today we would call a MILF pregnant. MILF
All right.
pageant.
So, since you said that, I don't know why my mind went right there, but what do you think of this Kim Kardashian thing?
Speaking of which.
What a scam.
Speaking of
what a scam.
Mrs.
What a
America.
scam. A fucking
She left the country, you know.
You know why? She didn't expect him to stick around. She didn't figure the basketball player would still be on strike. It's like now he's around the house. It's like, what the hell am I going to do with this 6'10" nigga around the house?
Oh, you think that's what she did? I never thought of that. But she left town. She's in Australia now. And I read today in the paper that Justin Bieber is a baby daddy.
No, it's not true.
It's not true?
It's
Are you kidding me?
They said
Girl.
there was a rumor saying
He's
that
a girl.
But his record's coming out today, and I heard other things that...
He's a, yeah,
that's
the
what
baby.
I heard, yeah.
That's the baby. It's
I
his
heard-
record. He's a girl.
Just...
I think I seen him at Meow Mix.
Aw, I wish there was still Meow Mix. I love Meow Mix. All right, this is another crazy thing on November 2nd.
Always
Listen to this one. See if you remember this. Mexican radio station erroneously reports that Mike Tyson died in a car crash on November 2nd.
The car.
Do you remember that? Does anybody remember Mike Tyson was claimed to be dead in a car crash?
Nope.
Well,
you know, remember he married Robin Givens?
yes.
Right?
Oh,
and then when he married her, she became Robin Tyson. And that's what she continued to do.
She's still Robin Tyson. Oh, that's a good one, Frankie.
With my drummer.
All right, today is the day, November 2nd, that New Jersey voters approved gambling for Atlantic City. How many times have you been to Atlantic City?
I'm Italian, no comment.
I've
been once.
Once?
But I got some better news.
What?
They have a new casino out at Aqueduct, New Jersey. We got one over here in Queens, right? It just opened up.
Gambling?
And gambling, it's like all machine gambling, but they have baccarat and craps and everything on the machines. But better than that, as far as we're concerned, is by the middle of February, there will be a venue with bands.
Ah.
And guess who knows the booking agent?
Frankie Wood. Frankie WhO. I usually don't say news like this, but I just can't let it go. This is a terrible, terrible thing that happened on November 2nd. This is the day that Auschwitz began gassing inmates. November 2nd. So,
no comment.
To all the angels in the room, I just wish them only good things, because I actually visited Auschwitz. It was,
I think it was a mistake. They thought they just figured that they know that a lot of Jews are lawyers, and they figured lawyers would be Jews, so they just kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
I don't know, but when I went there, it's like a museum, and there were little kids there, and they saw that I was American, and all they did was come over to me and say, chewing gum, do you have chewing gum? That's all they wanted was chewing gum from America.
Yeah, you understand, during World War II, military people are given, our enlisted men are given little packets that they carry with them while they were traveling. Yeah, and they had nylon stockings to carry to use for filtration devices. But the boys, they use to filter water and to cook and the whole things. And also the guys just used to get laid. Because, nylon stock or silk stockings back then. And chewing gum, because chewing gum keeps you alert. But again, you get to the mom through the kid.
Interesting. Today is the day that Howard Hughes flew for the first and last time.
On the Great Goose.
November 2nd.
On the biggest plane. Spruce Goose. The biggest plane ever.
Yeah, today, November 2nd. Hi, Howard Hughes.
Notice I'm not she just keeps coming up with stuff, and I got answers for it.
I prefer
I had no idea what's on this sheet here.
I prefer Leonardo DiCaprio's version of any other person. He was Howard Hughes, and he's gonna be, get out of town. And wait, who's he gonna be now? He's gonna be J. Edgar Hoover?
In a dress?
That's what I'm wondering. Are they gonna do that? You think? You think Leo's gonna wear the dress?
I would.
Well, I'm sure
Yeah,
you
look at how you wear it. Don't do anything.
It's the day that General George Washington bid farewell to his army on November 2nd. You have an answer for that one?
What did Washington say when he crossed the Delaware? My father was free.
You are like Tweety Bird meets that Elmer Fudd. Isn't he? I don't know which is you are, Tweety or Elmer. Maybe more Elmer Fudd.
More Woody Woodpecker.
That too. So today is the day that this is weird to me because President Reagan signed a bill establishing Martin Luther King Day on November 2nd. I thought there wasn't Martin Luther King Day before Ronald Reagan. Really? It feels like it's been around forever. It hasn't?
You're not that young.
I'm not saying I am.
It's been around forever for her because she's that young.
My memory might be that young, I guess. I don't know because I thought it was a longer time than that. I don't know. All right, birthdays on this day. Nelly. You know Nelly? Or are you too old for that?
Nelly.
Ricky Martin's birthday is today.
Gay.
Mr. Menudo, grown up.
Gay.
Katie Lang's birthday. Katie Lang's birthday is today. Does anybody know who Bobby Doll is? What band he's in?
Bobby Doll.
His singer got really famous again a couple years ago. Yes, very good, very good. Yes. Maxine Nightingale. Who remembers her hit? She had that giant hit.
She had that disco hit.
Yep, she did.
There's like a million of them.
She did. Maxine Nightingale's birthday is today. Stephanie Powers. Who
Girl
remembers
from
Stephanie Powers?
Heart.
Very good, very good. Yes, and then the angels in the room today are Theo Van Gogh. But it's not the Theo Van Gogh Ellen Merrill sings about as Vincent Van Gogh's brother. This is a different Theo Van Gogh. He was a film director, a Dutch filmmaker, and he was murdered by terrorists.
He made the cartoon of what's it called?
He was a controversial Dutch director.
Of Muhammad with his head as a bomb.
And he got murdered by terrorists. So we wish him, he's in the room with us today, an angel on ReWandWho on this November 2nd. Another one is, this is funny, Eva Morris. And they have her as a really old woman. She's the oldest person to die at 114 years old on November 2nd.
The only person to make it 114 and die.
So she is with us today in this room. This one, do you know who Egbert George Peterson was? Maybe you do. You're Mr. Know-It-All.
Like old or something?
He was in Benny Goodman's band.
He was a trumpeter.
He was in Benny Goodman's band.
Well, he's another angel. We have here's a great Hal Roach. Do you know who he was?
Keystone Cops.
Yep, Keystone Cops. Keystone Cops is like my favorite term for so many things.
He was also with the Little Rascals too.
Well, he died on this day, and I love that. He died at 100. So if you die on November 2nd, the chances are you're going to be pretty old.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
Yes, he died.
And then this one, look at her. Margie Barfield, U.S. murderer. She was the first woman electrocuted in 22 years.
That's just the start.
I don't like that. Willie Sutton, do you know who he was? He was a bank robber. I love bank robbers. I love them in the room. You know who he is?
Yeah, it was Sutton.
Yeah, he died on this day.
And the guy who ratted him out met with an unfortunate death of lead poisoning.
Is that your friend?
Did it?
Yeah.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Frankie did it.
Yeah, I know. And
Yeah,
Mississippi John Hurt, rocker, died on this day, November 2nd. So we got great angels in the room today. We got you. So what are the shows you're pushing this week?
What are we pushing? It's November. It's that time. It's the 10 Days of Wood. Yes, 10 shows in 10 days at 5 different clubs over 65 bands from 4 different continents. It's an anti-CMJ show because all of my bands are good.
Yeah.
And none of my shows cost more than $5. Unlike those carpetbagging scumbags who come to town every year charging $10 for bands you've never heard of and never will again. We won't mention any names. CMJ.
What do you think CMJ stands for?
Come milk my juice.
Is that what you... I think it should be Christians, Muslims, and Jews. I always feel it should be bringing everyone together.
Come milk my juice. They take everything. They just jerk you off. They blindside the owners.
I've had some fun
They
at CMJ.
blindside the owners with like big crowds that show up. They have their $400 passes, right? They have their $400 passes. They come down. They're like, ooh, I saw rock and roll. They were spiky-headed, haired punks and multiple colors and tattoos. It's like, ooh.
Yeah.
And then they never come back. You know why? Because the bands suck.
Well, do you think it's hipster? CMJ is like a hipster.
Give me somebody who came out of CMJ. I'll tell you what, I'll give you till the next time I come on the show next year to dig it up. You still won't find anyone.
You don't think?
It's a flare.
I don't disagree with you at all.
All right,
But I
please.
have had some fun
It's time to go to a
times.
commercial.
I have had some fun at CMJ. I have.
Fun.
I
You
have.
have fun at all my shows.
Probably.
Me too.
And we're going to come back with more of Mr. Wood.
Mr. Wood.